Good Wednesday evening, Southeast Texas. Welcome to 12 News Plus. We're going to take the next 15 minutes and delve into the next 7 days in detail, and we'll also take your questions if you have any. And right now we're looking at skies clearing here in Beaumont, but we had partly cloudy skies at times this afternoon, even a couple of showers on radar. We've cooled off to around 89 in downtown Beaumont. This view courtesy of Patrick Vaughn and the Roofing 911 Skycam network. So in your weather headlines, looks like high pressure building on in as we head through, say, Friday and Saturday. Begins weakening early next week, but this will basically result in above normal temperatures and grossly below normal rainfall through at least the next 5 days. Slight chance may return in the forecast as we head towards next Wednesday. The high is going to move back over towards California, and that may try to coax another front down from the north. That still remains to be seen, but the flow will be out of the northwest at least through next Wednesday. So that is some outstanding news, and I'll explain why in just a second. As far as you allergy sufferers, you have my sympathies this afternoon. It's all about ragweed across Southeast Texas. Very high levels of ragweed and also mold today were measured, and moderate levels of grass pollen across Southeast Texas. Indications are that this is obviously ragweed season. Your forecast for tomorrow, it looks like mostly sunny skies. I'm not going to go with any rainfall. We didn't see much today, but we did have a few showers on radar, kind of like what I thought. See a high of about 93 degrees. We'll start off very light winds out of the northeast in the morning and turning southeasterly in the afternoon. So that's my forecast for tomorrow in the triangle. Modeling is showing lows around 72. That's okay, and then highs around 95. So yeah, we agree. I don't agree with this 10% coverage in the morning. We're going to go with mainly dry weather conditions tomorrow across Southeast Texas. For the lakes area, it's going to be hotter up that way, a little drier air holding on. You'll see mainly easterly winds up in the lakes area. No sea breeze making it that far to the north, and sunny to mostly sunny skies expected in the lakes area with an easterly wind again at 2 to 5 miles an hour and highs in the mid-90s. So the lakes modeling continues to show this morning a shower and thunderstorm activity. I just don't think that's going to happen. We'll see highs again in the mid-90s and lots of sun, so pretty close to what I'm thinking. As far as afternoon high temperatures, this is for the triangle. We're certainly expecting highs by Friday and Saturday in the mid-90s, and the question is, do we see those Sunday, Monday? It's certainly possible. Normal high this time of year is 91, so putting things into perspective, we'll be running about 2 to 4 degrees above normal for this time of year. So above normal temperatures, below normal rainfall. Really don't expect anything significant through the next 7 days, but we may have a slight chance coming up by next Wednesday. As I said, that high begins to weaken. That's over our area, at least through the weekend, begins to break down and then move off to the west by, say, Wednesday of next week. Otherwise, as far as moisture levels, if you look at the legend, we're kind of in the middle, and as you can see, it does go up a little bit at times, but really not that bad. We don't have deep tropical or Gulf moisture over the area. When you get into these values, the dark greens and the yellows, that usually means you have lots to work with and you can get heavy rainfall locally, but we just don't see that happening over the next 7 days. So it looks pretty quiet. And taking a look at the Pro Roofing Concepts satellite and radar loop, as you can see, temperatures now at least at the airports in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. Sunny skies up in the lakes. And basically, we are seeing the sea breeze right across I-10 back over towards Anahuac and also in and around northwest of Winnie. These are very isolated showers, no big deal. We were expecting that today. But you can see the line of clouds. This is the sea breeze. So your winds are out of the southeast here along Jefferson County, back over to Winnie. North of that, they may be out of the east and northeast. So kind of a little front. It's typically what we see during the summertime that brings us rain pretty much every day, at least in the forecast. And that sea breeze is the reason that we stay so green here in Southeast Texas. They don't have that out in West Texas, Abilene. The sea breeze doesn't get that far usually, and so they stay brown. So the sea breeze just nourishes our area with the rainfall pretty much every day. By the way, September is the second wettest month of the year, June being the first wettest. So we will see certainly below normal rainfall through the next 7 days. Otherwise, across the state, as you can see, clear skies, high pressure building over the state right now, the front well out in the Gulf. And again, we were talking about the moisture coming in. That's why we track it. Moisture over towards New Orleans and southern Mississippi kind of moving off towards the west into our area. And that's why we saw very isolated showers and even some clouds across southeast Texas. We were not sunny. Otherwise, in the upper level patterns, you can see high pressure over West Texas, ridge of high pressure over the state right now. And I'm just checking to see some of the questions that we are getting as far as our text messages. '19th through the 21st, somebody wanted to know what the weather was going to be for southeast Texas and Eunice, Louisiana. It's a little bit beyond the 7-day forecast. Right now, next Wednesday, I believe that is what, the 19th? I believe that is 17th, I'm sorry. We will have to get back to you on that. I'll actually text you later as I look at some data to give you that kind of extended forecast that you asked. So thank you for that. And again, through the next 7 days, we expect below normal rainfall. But again, high pressure, this is the current pattern. High pressure will strengthen as we head towards Thursday and Friday. Now today is the peak of hurricane season. You couldn't ask for a better protection or pattern to protect Texas if we had something on the playing field. This is what you want to have. You want to have high pressure over the state or near the state. The Rockies would be fine, Oklahoma would be fine, and into Texas. As I said, you couldn't ask for a better pattern right now with a trough off towards the southeast and east coast, because if anything was coming out of the Caribbean, it would turn, guarantee you, it would turn over towards Florida. And that's why we normally see in October and into November, storms will come out of the Caribbean and they will do an about face as shear turns them off towards the east. Kind of the same situation right now. This is, again, a wonderful pattern to have on the peak of hurricane season. So look at the high. It actually builds and strengthens and nudges a little closer to our area Friday into Saturday. And again, notice the trough. Notice how the winds are doing this. This is a trough of low pressure. You want to keep that trough over the southeastern U.S. as far as the hurricanes go, because I don't think anything could get even into the Gulf. Now, the Bay of Campeche, Southern Gulf, could see something there, but right now with this kind of pattern right on through Friday, ain't no way. So what you don't want is you do not want this high to go over towards the southeastern U.S., because if anything came out of the Caribbean or out of the Bahamas, it would ride right on into Texas or Louisiana. That's what happened with Ike and Rita. You might remember we had the high right over to the southeastern U.S. Rita came in right up into the Sabine River Valley. So as we head on in through the next several days, we're looking at the upper level shear, because if we can't keep high pressure away, then we want to keep at least strong wind shear. And that is the case right now over the northwestern Gulf. You can see right there on the jet stream. This is way up in the atmosphere. Northerly winds Saturday, northerly winds Monday, west and northwest winds Wednesday. Perfect. Troughiness off to the east, a northwest flow in the upper levels would shear anything out if it tried to move in. So this is wonderful pattern right through Wednesday of next week, which is the next 7 days. So basically what I'm saying is the Gulf is closed for business, at least in the northern Gulf. Now, there could be some mischief. It's unlikely in the Bay of Campeche, but with this kind of flow, nothing's going to happen in the Gulf. Even if something tried to come out of the Caribbean, it would hit that northerly wind shear and either fall apart or be ejected off to the east. So this is the kind of pattern you want. So we're in good shape through the next 7 days, and I am not expecting anything. Ensemble modeling shows nothing over the Gulf through the next 7 to 10 days. Quiet business. in the Gulf. Now in the Caribbean, this is where we also need to watch. But right now, we have upper level low pressure in the western Caribbean. So what does that say? There's a lot of shear. See how the winds, see how the clouds are kind of spinning that way? That's upper level low pressure. And then look at the eastern Caribbean, devoid of any serious cloud cover. And this brown is Saharan dust moving in the Caribbean. So not going to happen there. Then in the far eastern Atlantic, look at all the dust. Now there is a complex cluster of showers and storms coming off the west coast of Africa. Hurricane Center gives us a 20% chance. Regardless, I've looked at ensemble modeling, not just one model. You cannot go with one model. If you see people posting a single model, throw it away, because you don't know if you've got a good run of that model or not. So why don't you look at the ones that show multiple runs, kind of the spaghetti models, and also ensemble models. But here's what the ensemble modeling shows. So we'll get this over here, and it looks like, and this is exactly what the Hurricane Center is going with, by the way, but after that, more or less, we begin to see ensemble models begin to turn this off towards the west and northwest. So this could be a fishy storm also at this time. That's the early look right now. This is not a forecast and it's not guaranteed. But right now, I don't think this is one that we're going to have to really worry about at this point. So looking good in the tropics, the bottom line, as today is, we mark the peak of hurricane season. As you can see, September 10th, that's today, we are at the peak. Then you go down. But that's no guarantee that this won't be a heavy back end season. In other words, it's been fairly quiet to the season. It could actually pick up quite a bit towards the end of the season. We're still watching the potential for the Madden-Julian oscillation to orbit our way, and that would enhance lift in the tropical Atlantic basin, and then we'll get more storms. Now, there's no guarantee they'll come into the Gulf or affect us, but we could still see the activity stay certainly higher than what we're seeing right now. So, as far as the forecast, it looks fairly straightforward. Slightly choppy seas on the Gulf tomorrow. There could be a couple of coastal showers. Otherwise, easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots are expected with slightly choppy seas around 2 feet. High tides at Sabine Pass at 5:08 a.m. and 8:02 p.m. And again, I've been saying this, these days are just getting shorter by a minute or two every day. Sunrise now at 6:57 a.m., sunset at 7:26 p.m. Otherwise, our forecast tonight becoming mostly clear, and because we have more moisture, more humidity, we're not allowed to cool off as much. So we'll go with the mid-60s in the lakes tonight, lower 70s in the triangle as winds go calm. Then for tomorrow, not expecting any significant rainfall. It looks dry. High temperatures between 92 and 95. Again, it's all about location, location, location. So the air is still fairly dry. We'll go with heat indices in the mid-90s. The UV index will be 9.4. So if you're like me, fair-skinned like me, you will burn in a matter of 15 to 20 minutes. So use the sunscreen. Winds, at least here in the triangle, will be out of the northeast, light in the morning, and then turning southeasterly with a sea breeze in the afternoon. There you go, low to mid-90s, mostly sunny, should be quiet across southeast Texas. Taking a look at your weather impact 7-day forecast, you know about Thursday. So Friday and Saturday, the high will be its strongest and pretty much overhead Friday and Saturday. So we do expect those highs even here in the triangle to be in the mid-90s. So we're talking maybe a 95, 96, 97 up in the lakes area on Friday and Saturday. But let me back up. It's looking great for Friday night football. We expect temperatures to be in the mid to upper 80s at kickoff around 7 p.m. A lot of sun, light south winds by halftime across the area. Should be in the low to mid 80s, a light south wind, mostly